All right, did you hear about this? A UC Santa Barbara freshman from Carlsbad had both of his feet amputated after getting meningitis on campus up in Santa Barbara. Now, in an outbreak that's also sickened 3 other people, 18-year-old lacrosse player and others got sick with this meningitis, and within a 3-week period of time, it was bad. And those 3 are expected to recover. Unfortunately, the young man from Carlsbad had to have his feet amputated, and more than 500 students at UCSB have now received antibiotics. And joining us this morning to talk about what this is and how to avoid it is Dr. Carrie Mells from Tri-City Medical Center. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we were just talking about this and how it's transmitted. First of all, how are these kids getting this?
Well, meningitis is a bacterial disease that's transmitted through secretions from one person to another. So if somebody has the bacteria in their nose or throat and coughs or sneezes on another individual who does not have it, that's how it's transmitted. Fortunately, it's not terribly contagious. Not like the flu or the common cold. Those are much, much more contagious than meningitis.
Right, and there is an antibiotic, I guess, that you can take to avoid getting this?
That is true, but that antibiotic is generally only administered to people who have really close contact with an infected individual. It's not generally advised
given to everybody.
Right, to everybody in the neighborhood.
In the dorm room or whatever.
Correct.
And this obviously is not the only case. There's some East Coast cases as well, and you say these things do tend to happen in clusters.
Yeah, that's typical for meningitis, is they happen in clusters, typically with people who are living in close quarters like college dorms, military barracks, those types of situations where the bacteria just can sort of stew in that environment and easily infect people.
Right, and this is a disease of the brain. Explain what happens.
So what happens is, what most people probably don't know is that these bacteria that cause this infection live in about 25% of people who never get the disease. So you and I could very possibly be carrying this bacteria in our noses and our throats right now.
Yeah.
And when we cough or sneeze or somehow transfer those secretions to another individual who does not have the bacteria, it can get into their nose and throat. And from there, it can invade the bloodstream, and from the bloodstream, it can invade the brain and the tissues surrounding the brain and set up an infection there.
So this young man from Carlsbad had both of his feet amputated. How does it transmit down to other parts of the body?
Very good question. So the meningitis has one particular form, one particular bacteria that can cause a more severe form of infection called meningococcemia. And that's one particular bacteria that starts as an infection of the brain, starts as meningitis, but then gets into the bloodstream, gets into all of the other body tissues, and starts to affect multiple organs throughout the body, including the blood vessels. And when the blood vessels start to break down and start to get damaged, particularly in the extremities, the hands and the feet, we lose circulation to those areas. You develop gangrene, and once you develop gangrene, those areas need to be amputated.
Yeah, it's too late. So before I let you go, I mean, if anybody is concerned about this, they have students at campuses or whatever, what do we do?
Well, vaccination is the best preventative measure, and most college students are recommended to get vaccinated before they go to college. It's certainly not too late.
Yeah.
There's several different types of meningitis, and there's vaccines available for all of them. So vaccination is really the primary preventative measure.
All right. Doctor, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Have a good week. We'll see you later.